Now, the United Nations World AIDS Day will be marked on Saturday. The day is meant to honor people who live with HIV and AIDS, as well as raise awareness of the AIDS pandemic caused by the spread of HIV infection. In an interview with Michel Sidibe, the executive director of the UNAIDS, the Joint United Nations Program on HIV and AIDS, I asked him, what is the significance of World AIDS Day?
I think this day is very important. World AIDS Day is a day for us to remember those millions of people who lost their life over the years. Let us not forget that during these 30 years, we lost more than 30 million people. And it's also to remember those 34 million people who are today with us living with HIV, to remember that their struggle is not over, that we need to recommit ourselves, to have a vision for the future which can really help to make sure that whatever we are doing, they will be part of. That day is an important day. So for me, it's day to remember, but it's day to also recommit.
We know that the biggest challenge has been access to treatment, and especially in African countries. How would you assess how things have changed in the last few years in terms of accessibility to treatment?
Just 10 years back, people were telling us, please don't dream. We could not put poor people on treatment. $15,000 per year, per person to have access to treatment, it was not possible. We're just living in the period of despair. We were not having any hope. 10 years later, we have been able, with a social movement generated by HIV movement, we have been able to reduce the price from $15,000 per person per year to $80. We are not having even 100,000 people on treatment in Africa 10 years back. Today, we are talking about 6.4 million people on treatment. So change is here.
One problem that seems to persist in Africa especially is violence against women, and in certain countries, especially Congo, where conflicts have been on for a long time, women are routinely being raped and as a consequence being infected with HIV, giving birth to children who are HIV positive. How is this challenging your efforts in those kind of countries, and what are you doing about the situation in collaboration with the international organization and the governments of those countries?
Well, first of all, we have to really accept that when women are the target of any kind of violence, or if they are the weapon of war, we are seeing that those women who are generally raped, unfortunately, we found them, most of them, HIV positive. And then also, they have to run from services, and they found themselves having babies born with HIV. So what we are trying to do is 1, 2, 3. One is to make a global advocacy. We are fighting to make sure that at least we produce strategic information to demonstrate that we have a strong correlation between violence against women and HIV. Secondly, we managed to go back to Security Council and to have a clear disposition taken by Security Council, which will help us to be able to monitor what is happening after the war or during the war situation, and report back regularly to the Security Council. And what we are doing now also is to make sure that we work with faith-based organizations, different structure, civil society, to equip those women with information, working with also soldiers in different parts to make sure that they can have information to be able to protect those women's